Hello everyone. In the last class, we have done several descriptive statistical analysis with the help of MS Excel and have tried to see how graphical plotting can be done of the given data or the calculated data. In today's class, as per your syllabus, you're supposed to work with an open source software for statistical analysis, and we have chosen R. Here we are supposed to do analysis such as correlation, regression, bivariate and multivariate statistics, data processing and presentation, as well as factor analysis and creation of contingency matrix. So for working with R, you have to download R, and it's an open source software, as I have already said, and universally used. There are a huge network of researchers and scientists who are constantly working in developing various scripts and syntaxes for large-scale modeling, and we will be just studying the very basics here. Now, R has two variations. One is the simple and the basic R, and the other is R Studio. So this is somewhat the layout of simple R. GUI looks like, and here we have to do almost the same things that we will be doing in R Studio, but the R Studio is much more user friendly, and you can see graphical plots, you can look into the history, you can call back your previous syntaxes or scripts. So things are much more easier and handy in R Studio. So here I'll show you how we can download R Studio, right? R Studio can be downloaded from these two places. There is cran.rproject.org, and also from, you just write download R Studio here in Google and you just go and click here. So here you'll get lots of options and packages. So whatever suits you, please download that. Now here you can see that there's R Studio Desktop, and there's R Studio Desktop Pro, R Studio Server, and R Studio Server Pro. So R Studio Desktop is what we generally would be working on. The ones that are pro are commercial ones. They are priced, and they generally cater to high-end users and companies who deal with huge data packages and data sets, means customized operations, and some sort of instant maintenance by the company. So they are commercially licensed. Whereas R Studio Server is something where high-end analysis on a very large data set is done, where the data set is stored somewhere in some corner of the world in a server, and you do not need your RAM, neither do you need your computer system to be forced to use huge data set. Maybe you do not have that kind of a storage space. So like you have Google Earth Engine, where you can work on huge global remotely sensed data sets, and you can derive various products from it. So similarly, all those Google Earth Engine, as they work on servers, so here even R Studio has a server where the data set and everything is stored in some country, and you can work on it. But here for our purposes, we will be using R Studio Desktop, and you have to download it. Now for downloading, just check what is your requirement. Whether your R Studio, you have an operating system which is Windows, whether it is 32-bit system or a 64-bit operating system. You have to check all those, and you have to check your Windows version. If your system is on Mac or Ubuntu, you just check that and then download. So once the .exe file is downloaded, you have to simply follow a next, finish uh, option of clicking the buttons, and then your R Studio gets installed. So how does your R Studio looks like? So I've already opened one. So this is how your R Studio looks like. So you have a window panel where you can write your scripts and your syntaxes. You have a console panel where whatever you have written is stored, and you can call it back, or rather get your data represented in a different way. You have a panel here on your right where you can see the history of your work, whatever you've done, you have undone, everything. And here you can see your plots. If you have graphical representations you are doing, you can see the plots. You can call for various packages. There are a lot of statistical packages here, and the global research team is continuously working on various syntax packages and uploading in their blogs, and you can constantly check them. So there are different packages here. Where you need one, you just tick on it and then install it. Automatically you can call those packages. So see, I have just clicked on it, and the console registers it, and even the history registers it. And again undo, there is another command. So this is how every step of your work gets registered. Now I'll show you in today's lecture how you can feed the very basic thing. The first step to your work is how you have to feed the data. So by default, as you open Word, you have a Word page. So here also by default you have a page where you can write your scripts. And otherwise, if you have already some scribbling and scripts written here, how do you open a new page, new script writing page? For that you have to go to file and then go to new file and then on R script. So once you click here, see, untitled 2 page, a new script writing page appears. So the first thing we'll do here is we'll feed a data that is visible here. You can see the data here. So we have village names, we have number of households and total population. So this is the data that I want to write in my R script. Now this is a small data. This is writable. You can write it. It may consume some time, that much of time that you consume for writing the data, feeding the data in Excel. And you can also import this data in from Excel to R. So in the next session, if you have humongous data, you can import the data from Excel to R. You don't have to do the mammoth task of again retyping it. So I'll show that importing part in the next session. But first, if you have a very small set of data, how do you work with it? This is the very first step, and that I'm going to show you to you. So I have arranged my windows in such a way that I can see both the data sets and can type it. Now, what is the first thing that we do? In a blank script file, the first thing I do is to write the heading. This is the heading, and I need to write the heading. I need to assign what the variables are all about. So what I do is write village name. I put a space, then I put less than arrow key, and then I put minus sign. When I write C, put a first bracket. As soon as I type first bracket, the second bracket automatically opens up. So now here inside the bracket, I will be typing the entire data, entire name of different villages. So for writing the name, I have to give a double inverted comma. Once I just typed the opening inverted comma, the second closing inverted comma, double inverted comma, automatically appears. So then within that I have to write the name of the village. Aka Huto. Then I click on comma. Again, I put a comma, I put space, and then I put a comma. Then I again give a double inverted comma. I write another name inside it. Aghu Tito. So these are names of, I think, Nagaland. Okay. This is census data. And again I put a comma, space, inverted comma open. Automatically the closing one appears. I write Amboto. And then I don't put any bracket here. Maybe for old or new, I just write a O. Okay. And then again comma, inverted comma, Akhuhai Haikua. So this is quite complicated. It will take some time. So for the time being, I am going to pause my video and feed the data. So this is the process how you feed the data. I hope you have understood. You feed the data, and after I have fed, I'll again resume my recording and show you what are the next steps. Almost completed feeding the data. You can also copy paste it from Excel. So after selecting the cell, just go here, select the text, copy, and then inside the bracket you can just paste it. It's like just Control V. So this is how we have fed the data here. Fine. The entire data is visible. You can see. Now the next step is you can click anywhere in the data and anywhere, any part of this line, and then click on run, right? To click on this option, run. As soon as you click here, this village name, and it's in all the names of the villages under this heading appears in the history and also appears here in your console file. Now what you can do is to check is write in the console village. See, automatically this thing name appears as it has been registered in the memory of the RStudio. So we click here and then press enter. All the data in serial number wise, see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is 7 until 13. All the 13 names appear here. So your data of the names of the villages have been registered in the memory of our studio. The next step here is to enter the data of whatever we had in Excel, I think number of households. So this was our data. Exactly similarly, we have to enter the data of number of households with a very minor but yet a crucial difference. So that I will show you. Here what we do is, let us bring this together, and in the second line we'll be writing household N. Okay, so this is a number. You can write anything, number of household, whatever you want. So just I've tried to mention it as like household N. Give it a space, less than symbol, minus C. Fine, I've written it. Then I again start a bracket. As soon as I start a bracket, the second bracket, the closing bracket appears. So here I'll feed the data. What I have to do in this case is not give any inverted commas. I'll simply write the number, put a comma, another comma, and keep going on. So 19, comma 51, comma 60, comma 94, comma 29, comma 103, comma 30, 32, 119, 133, 41, 34, 16, and 35. So my entire data, which includes the household numbers, have appeared. Very similarly, like the previous one, I click anywhere I want and then just click on run. See, it has come. You can also check here as well, and you can also write house. See, it's come, household N, and I click on enter in my keyboard and my data appears. So this shows my data has been properly fed. So I'll try feeding another data, because maybe I need to do some kind of correlation, some regression in the later sessions. So I'll use this very data. This is an example, though they are not very appropriate in order to show some sort of relationship, but just as a set of examples I'll be using it. So here I go, and this is total population, so I write T-pop, fine, space, then I give a less than sign, minus C. So this is a cumbersome work, not that cumbersome though, but it will take some time. So I'll just pause my video, otherwise the video length will keep on increasing. So I'll pause my video, I'll feed the data and come back to you. I'll do the entire processing of calling it up in the console and in the history section as well. So I'm pausing the video. I have fed the population data for these villages, the number of household data for these villages, and I've called them in the console section as well. Now this data is actually in a tabular format. So whether they have correspondingly got attached, each and every village has got its respective names or not, and whether the entire composite thing, like this is a data set, like it's not just simple one variable. This is the name of villages a variable, then the number of households within these villages are variable, and the total population of these villages are also a variable, but they completely form an entire data set. The number of households have an attachment to the name of the village, so that should form an entire data set, and whether it has formed or not, I have to do a check-in, and also I have to call them or rename them as an entire data. So for that purpose, what I have to do is maybe name it something exercise. Okay, I'll call this an exercise. So EXERCISE, exercise, and then put a dot, and I'll call it a data. Okay, now what does this exercise dot data include in it? Like the way I give a file name to a Excel file, so I am giving this entire data set a name. That the name is exercise dot data. I put a space and then a small arrow, like the less than arrow, and then a minus sign, and write data dot frame. Okay, I write this. As soon as I write data dot frame, I double click on it. The opening and closing of first parenthesis or bracket appears. In this, I will be incorporating my village name, the household N, and the T-pop as the entire data set variables. Exercise data is the data set. The variables are these 3 columns. So what I write is village name. It has already appeared. I put a comma. See how it prompts. R will continuously prompt you to use the one or choose from the one that is most required. I take household. See, it has appeared. How easy it is. Comma, teapot. Fine. It has appeared, and then I click on run. So there is an error here. Implied differing number of rows, 13 and 14. That is what I wanted you to see. There has been some kind of error that has got inbuilt while feeding the data. Maybe either I have missed out or I have added an extra data. So I need to check it. Okay, and then do an editing here, whatever I need to do, and then correct it. So let me see where has the problem occurred. Is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. See, the tpop variable has a problem. So I need to check it. The household, let us see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is also 14, this is also 14. So there lies the problem with here. So I have to check where the problem lies by checking the names. So here you have to be very careful. So we have Akahuto, Aguatito, then Amboto old, Amboto new. I have missed Akuhaikwa. So this is where I need to feed it again. So I put my cursor here, put an inverted comma, fine, comma here, and then shift here, and I write, I'll copy this, copy, I'll type here, and then see these are blackened out. I'll put an inverted comma here. So my entire data set becomes fine. But now what I have to do is I have to get the newly modified data registered in the mind of RStudio. So for that I have to click anywhere here and then click on run. Fine, it has got registered. Now I have to again go to this section and click on enter. Fine, and then to take this and then click on run. Now this data has got executed. So there is no problem. Once I have come here, I've clicked on run and the data gets executed. Now here what I'll do is I'll write here exercise dot in the console section dot that and press on enter. So my data here appears in the form of a table which I was wanting. Correct? Did you get it? So the village name, the household, the total population, the way I wanted has been executed. Sorry for this calculator popping up. So this is how I want my data, and this is how the data in R needs to be entered. I hope you have understood. In case you face any problem, just let me know. Now there is another thing that you can see here is the various historical codes that you can see. Okay, so this is how you can also see whatever you have used. All the history, whatever you have done is available here. So in case Any problem, just let me know. In the next class, I will be showing you how you can do an importing of this data set in Excel and also a correlation analysis. Please feel free to contact me anytime you need. If you have any confusion, try working with it and try experimenting. There can be some errors you'll find. There will be errors while typing. You may miss out, as I had missed out a name, or you can put double comma or miss any kind of spacing. Just try out. If you face any problem, please feel free to contact me, and I'm always there to help you. Thank you.